Smoke has been considered the strongest of the 4 Triborg variations for a long time. His universal kit plays Mortal Kombat X the best of the 4, with a complete combination of defense and offense. But why do people think this? The only other Borg that can contend with Smoke's viability currently is Sector, but even then, arguably, Smoke is still a more complete character for a number of reasons. Let's discuss his kit and break down what makes this character so dangerous in the right hands. Let's get this out of the way. One thing you need to be a solid character in MKX is a strong mid, something that you can't just neutral crouch or mash low pokes out as a defensive option. Smoke demands ultimate respect with his selection of mids, something Cyrax and Cybersub don't have the same access to. His mids easily lead to full combos. Smoke has the option to either back 2-1 into Harpoon, or forward 4 down 1-2 into a launcher to also full combo. Both mids are hit confirmable, and when used correctly, are safe on block. The third hit of his forward 4 string is unsafe however, but you'll rarely see a Smoke player just use this on block without hit confirming first. His strong mids condition you to block, should this be his turn to press a button, which opens up his next stage of offense, 50-50s. Although technically Smoke doesn't have a true vortex due to the slowdown of Triborg's back 1 and his inability to jail a free overhead off a low or overhead off every touch, Smoke has so many ways to set up a potential mix-up on hit that often his next attack will be rather overwhelming and hard to read. He can start off a jump-in punch, off a number of strings, or strings into Smoke away to name a few. Again, not necessarily guaranteed, but with so many ways to set this up, it is hard to deal with. The main factor here is that a straight up overhead or low into Smoke Bomb is a much more basic and straightforward way to open up the opponent than a situational hard to blockable from Cyrax or Cyber Sub-Zero. All 3 variations are designed around mixing up, but Smoke's will come from situations that are much more likely to happen, as every single hit from Smoke turns into a Harpoon restand into this mix-up, whereas Cybersub gets his mix off a long knockdown into Ice Bomb, and Cyrax will either do the same or will have to cash out damage super early for an airnet mix. Contrary to what was originally popular belief, Smoke has superb defense. Although he lacks an armored reversal, he has the next step up. An invincible meter burn Smoke away combined with an 8-frame advancing forward 1 that links into forward 1-3 Smoke Bomb for a full combo. I've lost count how often Smoke has used this in a multitude of situations to straight up punish the opponent for trying to press a button, which will obviously lead straight back into the Harpoon vortex. It makes pressing a button from an otherwise safe distance a risk. It makes it hard to count the character out of situations where other characters would die from guaranteed chip. Combine this type of tool with his superb mids, and it makes getting a solid read on how Smoke's going to try and escape pressure very dangerous, as one wrong read and you can get hit anywhere on screen for a full combo. Forward 1-3 is a fantastic whiff punisher across all Triborg variations, so if he gets one good Smoke away just as you've pressed a button, you're in big trouble. Now on to my final point. Usually, Triborg's general weaknesses are universal. It just comes down to how the variation can make up for those weaknesses. Smoke doesn't suffer from the same weaknesses that the other variations have. His kit covers those areas more than sufficiently. The other Borgs lack decent mids, which makes them incredibly exploitable by certain characters. This is particularly noticeable by Cyrax and Cybersub. Sector isn't as lacking due to his zoner heavy playstyle and his new ability to make his mid safer with Flameburner. Smoke will destroy you for disrespecting his forward 4 or his back 2. Another big weakness is gaps. Triborg in general has many gaps in strings and in between specials. Although the removal of launching armor has helped all 4 variations in this way, Smoke has still come off the best in this situation, as his main armorable gaps would have come off correctly blocking his 50-50 and then armoring before or after Smoke Bomb. Now armoring gaps is a less appealing option. You're less likely to armor these gaps against Smoke, leaving him plus on block after he goes for a meter burn Smoke Bomb, opening his offense further. A final weakness I'd like to address is the ability to pressure Triborg. Cybersub's armor is super unsafe for minimal reward. Cyrax and Sector's reversals can be low profiled and punished, whereas Smoke's Smoke Away gives him the biggest reward versus the risk that you take to do it, on top of recovering immediately. This video was to shed some light on what makes Smoke such a powerful force in MKXL. Players like PG Scar have been putting in work with Smoke for a while, with Scar using Smoke as one of his characters that he used to recently take Socal Regionals. Scar's victory at SER is not why this video was made. It's sheer coincidence that this top 8 just so happened to fall while I was putting this together. It's part of a new series of videos where we answer the most asked questions about the game in general and the characters within it. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.